What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Baseball Talk on Rojas Media. Kind of, sort of special edition to start out here. A little bit of a public service announcement. So, I think I had mentioned last video in the top 5 pitchers in baseball video that I said that there was going to be a name change to the channel, and that I had a podcast coming out soon. A new podcast, baseball podcast, obviously. But with the lockout, I don't know what's going to happen right now because it kind of doesn't make sense for me to put a baseball podcast out right now during a lockout. Great timing, right? Fantastic timing. Who knows what's going to happen with lockout, when it's going to end. I've heard different things. Like it could end as soon as this week because the players and the owners, they want to get it done. And I've also heard that it could be freaking months from now. So I have no idea when this lockout's actually going to end. I mean, who am I? I don't know. I have my tiny little sources here and there, but what do I actually know? I know nothing about it. The point here is I am going to withhold this name change and the trailer for the new podcast until the lockout ends. Once the lockout ends, it's coming right out. It's coming your way. You will get a new podcast, and you will find out what name is being changed. What name is it going to be? It's not going to be Rojas Media anymore, sadly. It's been Rojas Media for the last couple of years now, but me doing different sports and baseball, Philly sports, whatever, tennis. It's going to be a sad day, but getting a new name. So you will get a new podcast when Rob Manfred and the players want to stop messing around and get a baseball season in. That's when we're getting the podcast. So let's talk about today's video. Let's talk about, because I did want to put out some content just because I want to put out some content, and content that at least would make a little bit of sense. So I want to talk about, I think FanGraphs did their divisional projections about a couple weeks ago, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks ago. And decided, let's go through these projections. Projections are just projections. Remember, don't take them so seriously. We're not here to take these extremely seriously, but it's fun. It's sports, right? We like to have fun. We like to look at these projections, and we like to predict what's going to happen. So, without further ado, let's start with the AL Central. AL Central, not one of the better divisions in baseball. The White Sox kind of just ran through that division last year. They didn't even have to be incredible. I think the second half of the year, they weren't even that incredible, and they still just ran through that division to get to it was like 90-plus wins, I forget. But regardless, it's looking like it's not going to be a great division again this year. I mean, FanGraphs has the White Sox 88 wins, Guardians 78 wins. I mean, the second-place team under 500, not so great. But one team that I found interesting when looking at it, the Detroit Tigers. They're only projected by FanGraphs to win 76 games. That's a game less than last year. A team that is rebuilding, a team that looks like it could be good in about 2 or 3 years. And I feel like they might be the White Sox, even though they're in the division. The White Sox the past couple of years are a team that wasn't so good the last 5-6 priors before 2020. And then they broke out in 2020 and 2021. And then they had higher expectations last year, but still got to the playoffs. But I see the Tigers as that similar type of team. I see that. They have a bunch of young prospects that are really good. Akil Baddoo showed what he can do last year. You got Casey Mize, Spencer Turnbull. You've got a lot of really good young players there. And they just acquired Javi Baez. And no, Javi Baez isn't, I do think he's a tiny bit overrated. I don't think he's as overrated as everyone else says he is. But he definitely is a bit tiny overrated. But that signing makes them better. And they won 77 games last year. There's no way they're losing more games this year. I don't see that. If that does happen, it's a complete failure for them. Now, it's not the end of the world. Could be a bit of a step back, but the progression they're trying to make, where I think they can be the White Sox in a couple of years, they need to get the over. They 100% need to get the over, especially in a bad division. Look, man, the Twins, I don't see the Twins bouncing back to be that team they were a couple of years ago. The Royals, I've seen nothing from the Royals that says they're anywhere ready to compete in 2022. Guardians, I mean, you never know from Cleveland. That's one thing. You never know from Cleveland, but I don't expect them to be super competitive, but you never know. And I do expect the White Sox to win this division again, but for the Tigers to be slated at 76 wins, wild, man, wild. I see them at least winning 79 to 80 games. I know that's not a whole lot more, but between that like 79 to like 84 wins, I can see that happening. And I think that's, if you're the Tigers, that's what you're expecting. You get Javi Baez, that's going to add a few more wins, and the young players, the young prospects, they're going to continue to get better. So for them to be at 76 wins is kind of, that's light, man. There's no way the Tigers don't get that over. But it would be a failure if they don't at least get that over. Definitely a failure. So that's my take on the AL Central as far as the Tigers go. I felt that was really interesting. Not the most interesting division there, but the Tigers could be a really interesting story there if they don't get that over.